Welcome back to How We Keep the Art Alive. This is the talk show produced by Tenacious Theatrics, where we celebrate the artists who are keeping their art alive in their communities, their towns, their cities, in their world. It's very, very exciting. We have a great lineup tonight. We're going to get right off the bat, starting with Hailey Vest. Hey, Hailey. Oh my God, it is so good to see you.
Hi, Leonard. It's so good to see your face. Oh my gosh, it's been too long.
So Hailey and I talked about this a little bit before we started, that we haven't seen each other in 5 years since we graduated from SCAD, which is a little ridiculous. I don't like that we haven't communicated more often.
I completely agree. It's crazy how time flies and also
And time dies too.
Just, everybody's in different cities and just trying to keep track of where everybody is. Like, it is just so nice to actually sit down and be able to just see you. Hi.
Yeah. So, of course, I know you very well, but for our audience, just fill them in on who you are, where you're from, how you got into this industry.
All right. Well, my name is Hailey Vest, and I'm originally from Vail, Colorado. And I met the lovely Leonard when I was at SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and we were there and we graduated together. And then I moved to New York City to pursue acting and have been here ever since, and then also studied at the Maggie Flanagan Studio. And yeah, I've been dancing and acting as long as I can remember. I knew that I wanted to be on the stage, that, if you could pay me to play dress up and, be other people and sing, I mean, that's the coolest job ever. That's what I want to do. So, yeah, I've always had the bug, but that's me.
So when we met at SCAD, do you remember what show we met?
Oh, I don't remember what show we met, but I remember when I first met you, and I don't think you know this.
Oh, secret time.
So this is this is our freshman year, and I went to go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show with my friends, and there was this incredibly talented guy, and he was so good and so on it, and he had such charisma on the stage, and I was just like, this Leonard guy, he's super cool. And then I remember being on the bus to Arnold, I think, and I turned around and you were 3 rows behind me, talking to all these other people, and I was like, oh my gosh, the Rocky Horror guy, he goes to SCAD? What? This is the coolest place ever! And then I realized you were in my grade, and I was like, all right, well, I gotta know who this guy is, because he's just so freaking talented. So I remember
that is
fangirling
so
hard.
Crazy. I had no idea that's how you met. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it was actually pretty tragic.
Oh my God. Wait, so why did you go? Did you just know that Rocky Horror was happening and you went, or is it because Emily was in it, or?
I was a Rocky Horror virgin at the time, and I just saw that they were doing it, and I was like, this sounds cool, I want to go see a show, and you just happened to be in it. I also saw when you played Brad, too, a couple of years later, so that was really cool to see the juxtaposition between the shows. So, you're killing it, man.
That is so funny. I had no idea, because I know a lot of SCAD people went to go see that show, because there were SCAD galore in that one. There was Logan, Jacqueline, Emily, Casey, Eric, myself.
Yeah. You just said, I just remember you coming on stage for the first time, and I was like, whoa, charisma. You were a very charismatic actor, and that's one reason why I love working with you, and I love watching you do what you do.
Oh my God, that is so crazy. Oh my God. Anyway, so the first time I remember meeting you was at the callbacks for Into the Woods.
Yeah!
Which is what we did our sophomore year. Well, I'll say you did, because I was 4 understudies and I never got to go on stage, which was fine. It's fine.
That was insane, by the way.
That was just, it was a crazy, crazy time. But that's when I remember meeting you. I was like, oh my God, this girl is so great. She's so happy all the time. She's so talented. And then I think it was just like from that point on, it's just like, yeah, now I got my foot in the department. Junior year and senior year happened, and it was all great. But you were doing a lot of films in SCAD. I remember you doing a lot of film.
Yeah. I kind of lucked out with my with the film program at SCAD. I remember distinctly that I showed up my freshman year. I told myself that I would say yes to every opportunity that was presented to me. Any flyer I saw, I need a grip person. I'm not a grip, but I can help. You can show me what to do and I'll do it. Teach me everything. And I got a flyer for like the mass auditions for like the senior showcase, the senior films, and was like, yeah, I'll go. Absolutely. I'll audition for all of them. And I got a couple of them my freshman year, which was crazy. And then I got Red, White, and Screwed, and which I won for and didn't even know that was a thing. And then, of course, the film department knew who I was. The casting department knew who I was because I was in these films, and it just kind of snowballed in a really great way. So
that's awesome. Oh man. So again, like, I've seen you do both. I've seen you do films. I've seen you do theater. Do you have a preference of which one you like better at this point in your life?
That's always a difficult question.
That's why I ask it.
Right. I grew up, so my first love is theater. My first love is musical theater. Everything makes sense to me in a musical. Like, that is where my heart is. Now, if I could go and be in theater all the time, I would. But film and television is more ubiquitous, and there's so many other things, and they need small parts, they need bigger parts, and you can really work yourself up with that. Whereas with theater, there's really not like that one-liner, and then you leave the stage, and that doesn't exist. So right now, I'm really into film and television, mainly because you get to play so many people. I would love to be able to book a character, like book a role that goes through seasons, so you could then have that arc of the character and really evolve with them as you would with theater. But I'm more working in film at this moment. But also, theaters aren't open yet, so there's that as well.
You got to do what pays the bills, right?
You got to do what you got to do.
So as we're talking about this, I'm remembering your episode on Bull.
Oh yeah.
You were killed. You were what? Strangled and then killed? And
oh yeah. No, it was a really good day for Emily Baker. She was propositioned by her boss to do whatever he wanted to get a raise, and then felt so sick from being asked something like that she ran into the bathroom, where she was then raped and murdered by a serial killer. So
it was cool to see your dead body on screen. I'll say that.
So yeah, no, that was actually really cool because that's like 4 hours of makeup, and it was so much fun. It was so cool to be there and work with so many wonderful, talented actors. And also, like, I have the cute, adorable face type right now. Like, I'm in that niche where you want to see me killed. Like, it's a weird thing, but I'm I haven't aged out of it yet, where, like, I'm in the box of oh, she's super cute, she's super bubbly, she's super naive, and she just wants to do a good job. Oh, and if we killed her, then that would make the audience be really mad, so let's do it. And hopefully, in like 3 to 5 years, I can play the cop or the detective who gets to figure out who did the murder. But for right now, I'm
like you said, it's working up to it.
It's
right?
working out so far.
So speaking of working up to things, you have this incredible web series that I'm thoroughly enjoying. I want you to talk about that for a little bit, and then we're going to watch a clip from it.
Okay, so during quarantine, I've created a web series called Living with Myself. And it is a web series that focuses on an actor dealing with depression due to the pandemic and feeling like she's losing herself through all of the things that she can't control going on in the world around her. And her subconscious creates these different versions of herself or these different parts of her personality to come back to remind her who she is. And this series is, in a way, kind of like a love letter to myself of my experience with the pandemic, in a way, because I didn't really realize that I was writing it in my head until about 3 months ago. And of course, everybody's going through so many things, and everybody has kind of this unified experience, but it's their own. And the pandemic gave an opportunity to create something completely by myself, because you can't have a film crew or go to a location right now.
Unless you have like $1 million.
Yeah, which of course we don't have. But it was an opportunity to really try and make something that felt true to me and would teach me a lot about all the different parts about this industry. I've never edited before. I've never, done sound or, been a DP. I've directed a little bit in my life, but, you're never really directing yourself. And what it takes to edit, oh my gosh, or do all the lighting and or writing a whole series. Because, season 1 is done. And we're just, getting through it, but it's a pandemic production, and it's incredible that people are actually watching it, because that actually wasn't really the goal. The goal was to, it's I don't have any recent footage right now, so I'll just, make my own recent footage, and, hopefully my mom will watch it. And now episode 2 has, I think almost 600 views as of today, which is really cool. It's really cool, and I'm really glad that the show resonates with people.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely resonated with me, which is why when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh, let me see what this is about. And I'm just hooked. It is so... captivating, I think is the word, because there's so many of us that are going through this. It's not easy to tell yourself, hey, maybe I am depressed. Maybe this is something that I'm going through. People don't want to admit it, right? We all want to just be the happy, successful actors getting through the pandemic. But these are real things that are happening. And that's why I think it clicks with so many people. I'm really excited because I really want to show the clip that we have prepared for tonight. So take a look at this.
Whoa! Who is this?
This is Impulse, Hailey. We've decided to team up.
Team up? Impulse, Hailey, what do you think about these shoes? Ooh, so cute! But do we need them in multiple colors? Obviously. Ah! Look, I think those are super cute. Fine. And I'm not trying to be the bad guy here. Get them. But we don't have any extra money right now. Credit cards, baby. No, I'm not gonna blow up my credit cards, okay? When work picks up and this all ends, please help me pick something out. But until then, I need you to work with what we have. See what I mean? She wants us to be outfit repeaters. Girl, you have been so stressed and living in PJs. You just need to live a little bit. Treat yourself. No price is too big. Reach. Ow! Not to be rude, but I really don't think you're a part of me. Live it, live it, live it up. I'm known for being frugal, for being queen of sales. I make pro-con lists about purchases. This part of my personality seems like a stretch. What? No, you are so impulsive, Abby. Would you like to share with the class what you're hiding? I might have tampered with her a little bit. How? I took her bag of logic away. It's where you keep all your spreadsheets and pro-con lists. Ooh, what a nice bag. Don't touch it. Can't you just, for once, buy something that makes you feel beautiful and special, and that is the only reason that matters. You don't need this minimum 3 occasions, or it goes with everything, or it's a staple piece. I want some frickin' stilettos, and I don't care if we live in New York City and we walk frickin' everywhere. I mean, look at this. You spend so much time thinking about buying something rather than actually doing it. No wonder you're sad. That was a low blow.
So I really wanted to show that segment because I think it embodies pretty much what your show is about. You get to see the different personalities, you know, regular Hailey in the Nat shirt, which Claire also has. I was like, hey, I know that shirt. And just seeing, you know, how the different personalities are affecting like the different parts of your brain, and like the impulse Hailey is the person that I connect with the most because I'm so impulsive. I'm like, yes, this is the truth. This is a character right now. But what is the name of the other Hailey that's just there?
The other Hailey that's just there, the other
Like
one
from
who's like,
the one who's been there from the beginning. Yeah.
That's Fancy Hailey.
Fancy Hailey. Okay, so Fancy Hailey has been a character throughout this whole series. I'm pretty sure she's in every episode. That's why I say the other Hailey, because I'm like, she's there, and she's like every single episode she's there. But she just says the truest things about what we're going through. Is like, why can't you just go and splurge? You deserve this. You were so like meticulous about everything. You're not enjoying your life. And I think that's even when we're not in the pandemic, like before and even after, I feel like sometimes we still get into that mode of like, we're so specific about our things and we're not focusing on the bigger picture of just enjoying life. And I don't know, that clip just resonated with me so much, and that's why I wanted to share it.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, Fancy Hailey is, yeah, she's always kind of like the, you know, if you have like the funny guy and the straight man, regular Hailey is always the straight man usually, and Fancy Hailey's always the funny guy, or the one who says the truth. But she's kind of that person, you know, when you're in like a social situation and then you leave and you're like, oh, I should have said this. This is what I should have said. Like, oh, it would have been so much better than what I actually did. I wish I could go back and change that. Fancy Hailey she says what, you know, you wish you had said in the moment, or she really doesn't have a filter. She doesn't care what people think, which is really kind of fun, especially as, you know, as someone who is an actor, and, you know, you constantly kind of have to figure, like, not worry about what people think, but it's like, you know, did I get the part or did I not? And she's just like, I don't care. And it's really fun.
This show is so much fun, and I highly recommend everyone taking a look at this. It's so great. Hailey, we are running out of time. So do you have anything that you'd like to say just before we go?
I think the last thing that I want to say is this year has been a lot for everybody, and feeling how you feel is okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. And not being happy all the time and feeling blah is okay. And it took me a long time to figure that out. And this web series is kind of my way of getting back to being me. So however you feel is good, and just take it one day at a time.
That's what I'm saying. Watch the web series. It's great.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
Yeah, so good to see you. All right. Last but not least, again, we only have 2 tonight. But last but not least, we have Corinne Bachand. Hi, Corinne.
Hi, Leonard.
Just like Mackenzie's interview, it's funny that we're interviewing because I feel like every week we have a puppet meeting, right? So it's like we talk every week, and maybe sometimes even multiple times a week. So this is just like another conversation.
Especially now, right? Jeez. With the
Especially
filming,
now.
oh my goodness, yeah.
We're just texting and emailing every 2 seconds. The reason being, Corinne is one of our puppeteers, builders, and manipulators for our Little Shop of Horrors online cabaret. She's been working nonstop with Candace, who was in a previous episode, just working on these puppets, and they're so incredible. And that is the reason why I brought Corinne on the show, is because I want to introduce you all to her and her fabulous fantasticness. So Corinne, just give us a little bit about your background and kind of how you got into puppetry building.
So, I mean, I was raised on Jim Henson, you know, Fraggle Rock. I have memories of sitting in my high chair, you know, like sucking on a coconut cookie, watching Fraggle Rock, and being disappointed when it ended. You know, yeah, and obviously Sesame Street, but really probably Labyrinth was the biggest one for me, just in terms of you know, fantasy and the capabilities of puppetry and all that type of stuff. I'm a huge Tim Burton fan too, and stop animation is a love of mine. In terms of actually building puppets, I mean, art's huge for me too. I don't have a degree in art or anything. I'm actually a business analyst. That's my full-time career. But I just engineering is in my blood, and building. And my father, he's retired now, but he was a mechanical engineer. My grandfather on my mother's side, he was an engineer in the Army. And it's just all over the place. So it's kind of only natural that, you know, my love of art and engineering come together, and building puppets is probably the best outlet that, you know, life could have handed me, really, for art. So yeah.
I mean, it's just, the stuff you make is incredible. I remember when I hired Candace for the project, she was like, I have to work with my art partner, Corinne. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, bring another person on. And just...
I don't want to interrupt you, but you know, you bring up Candace and oh, that girl. She is my puppet art soulmate, and we went to school to, like, you know, middle school and high school together. And I remember when she graduated and she told me she was going to the Frank Ballard, you know, puppetry school at UConn, I was so jealous. But she was always way more adventurous and brave than I was. And, you know, she pursued... I took a safe route, you know, insurance. She's the one who went and, you know, just got her degree in puppetry. I mean, how many people do that? And then, you know, went to New York and craziness, right? And I told her from the beginning, I'm like, I'm gonna be riding your coattails. So just be aware. And what's happening, I really, actual puppet building for me has really only happened within maybe the past 12 to 18 months. And that's because Candace came, she came back to Connecticut from New York, and she, got involved with the Eastline Puppetry Project in Connecticut. She got on the board of directors, and then she's like, hey, Corinne, we have this production, want to come make marionettes? And I was like, okay. So, I started doing that, and then, oh my God, Leonard, this Little Shop of Horrors, that's another one from my childhood, at least, the movie. And before Candace even came to me and said that this was an opportunity, I had already planned on making an Audrey 2 puppet just for Halloween, just to have. So it was very exciting, and it's kismet. It's like everything is just falling into place, and it's, COVID has been a blessing for me, for lack of a better term in that regard, because you guys have provided me an outlet to be creative and not go insane. Any more insane than a puppeteer is, anyway.
Right. I'm just so it makes my heart so happy that we're able to give that to you, because I remember our first meeting and you telling me about this puppet that you wanted to make for Halloween, and I'm like, well, hey, you get to build it for a show, and then you get to keep it, so it's like, it's just so awesome.
You don't even know. Like it's an honor and everything. It's been amazing. It really has.
The puppets that you have made for this show were so much better than the idea that I had. I was like sitting in my office. I was like, okay, I'm gonna, I don't know, get some fabric and go to the park and get some leaves and make sure I film before they die. Like, it was gonna be a disaster. And I'm really glad that Mackenzie and I found you guys, because we owe it all to Curvin Peralta. Thank you.
Actually, yes, thank you, Curvin. Yes, and in actuality, another aspect, I've never really done shadow puppetry, so actually Curvin having to drop out, early on, has also given me an opportunity to learn some shadow puppetry from Candace. So it's thank you, Curvin, actually, for giving Candace the opportunity, and unfortunately you had to drop out, but it worked out in my favor, so thank you.
So I've been teasing for the last couple of weeks of having you on the show and seeing the puppets that we built. So I really want to see, do you have access to the baby puppet?
Oh yeah, it's literally right here. It's all prepped and ready to go.
I would love for you to show our audience just a little bit of that guy.
Do you want me to actually manipulate it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, as much as you want to show. I would like to save a little bit for the actual show, but just to, show what, kind of talk about your process of how you went ahead and built it and everything like that.
So, here, I'll get it on first, and then the thumb pieces broke off, and I actually had to fix them, but I used a different material, and it worked out better. Candace, thank you for the felt idea. Okay, you ready? So, here's the baby. Candace painted the lovely can.
Yes.
And here we go. So this puppet is made out of EVA foam, and we use heat forming to get the shape and, like the waves and the leaves and all that beautiful texture and whatnot, and lots of glue, and it's just painted with acrylic paints. And thank you, Mackenzie, for suggesting mixing the Elmer's glue for the flexibility.
That was actually Claire. I just want to clarify that was Claire.
Oh, that was Claire? I'm sorry. Oh my God. Claire. I apologize. Thank you. That's right, because I remember her talking about making the lion or whatever it was, now that you're saying it.
Claire was involved with fabrication of props and all that stuff. So yeah, she's got lots of good recommendations.
Good, I know who to go to if I have questions for things. So another thing we did with actually both versions of the puppet is to show the growth. It has removable parts, so the big leaves on the side, all four of them come off. The middle grow for me leaves here. Let's see if I can do it holding it the way it is. I don't know if it's gonna work. Oh, it does. The leaves that grow, those come out, so that we can just make it into the first bud and dadu. And oh, we can't forget the little twofer.
The twofer.
That comes off too. But this is the fully grown juvenile version of the puppet, all put together, all assembled. Super cute.
So
you just want to give it kisses. So yeah, to be honest, I love the adult one, but I think this one is my favorite.
I mean, I love both of them.
I think it's just because this one's so adorable. All right, and then so the little one's all done. The big guy still has some work, but it's looking awesome. Hold on. I'm gonna be doing spikes on its leaves and stuff. Let's see. This one's a little more difficult to get on. The stem's a little longer.
At which I will mention, Candace literally ripped the shirt off her back to make the sleeves for the stem. So Corinne right now is putting on the sleeve, which is actually just a shirt sleeve from Candace's shirt, because she was like, hey, this'll work.
Yeah. I'm glad you said, we started working, and I was like, oh, what can I use for, the sleeve and everything? And she went upstairs, came back down, and handed me the shirt she was wearing. And I was like, okay, all right. That's dedication, right? So
yeah.
Here is the adult. Now I still have same materials and everything. The teeth are made of translucent polymer clay, and what I like about that, and you can actually polish this to a nice shine. I ended up not doing that. I did want to, but anyway, and it really gives a nice appearance of bone. And there's still some details I gotta do, like painting on the tongue, and I might go in there and make the throat a little darker, because I know we're gonna have a scene where it kind of, goes into the mouth, and, yeah.
It's so impressive to me, because knowing the size difference between the smaller one and the bigger one, I would assume that the bigger one is harder to manipulate, and that there's all this weight to it, but you make it look so easy when you manipulate it.
You know what it is? The foam is so light. It's like the EVA foam was the perfect material for this project. And I was actually surprised at how well this manipulated as well.
Yeah, I mean, the shape is exactly what we were looking for. Oh, what was your inspiration for the type of flower it was gonna be?
Oh, Japanese orchid. I have a fake one in my bathroom from IKEA, and actually the shape of the tongue is very similar to, I don't know if it's the stamen, some part of the orchid, and this was influenced by that very heavily. Even, I know this doesn't look exactly like the orchid, but actually the patterns on this were influenced by it as well, and actually just the general, colors that I used for it as well. I wanted to, hold on. I thought I wanted to show the concept just so people could get an idea, but to be honest, I don't even know where my
We can throw the concept up on screen.
Oh yeah. Do that if you can, because I thought it's actually pretty close. It came out good.
I think it looks exactly how you drew it. I mean, it's I love it. Every time I see it now, I'm like, oh, because we're actually in the middle of filming right now for this, so I'm really excited to see what everything looks like together.
I can't wait. What I'm really looking forward to is like the forced perspective and how that's gonna come through, because I want this thing to look as big as it can. So
yeah,
I'm excited. This is my first like real production, so I'm so stoked. I really am.
You're killing it. For your first production, come on. This is ridiculous.
And I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I think I told you this before. This is the first time I've ever worked in EVA foam. So,
You did not tell me this.
but it paid off, so.
Oh my god. You could have just not told me that, and I would have been like, wow.
Well, now that it's coming to fruition nicely, I'm okay with admitting that.
Oh man, Corinne, this has been so awesome. Do you have anything that you'd like to share just before we go?
I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity again. Leonard, obviously you, and I mean what you're doing is fantastic. Keep art alive. And again, just a thank you to Kervin and Candace for kind of, floating this opportunity my way. I really appreciate it. And everybody just, this awful time is coming. I don't want to say coming to an end, but it's I feel like it's getting better at least. And just hang in there. Perhaps make some puppets,
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh man, tonight has been so great. It's been so much fun just seeing this real art come together. I'm so fortunate to have had our guests on tonight. Like we keep saying after every single episode, it's gonna come to an end soon. Watch Little Shop of Horrors Online Cabaret. If you haven't gotten excited yet, I hope that tonight seeing these puppets have really gotten you excited. Again, it streams May 16th to the 23rd, and if you're watching this after the stream date, it'll most likely still be on YouTube anyway, just because I want it to be accessible for everyone to watch. So, but please tune in for those dates. Tune in to these episodes. We have such talented people coming on these episodes, and we have way more already lined up. So until then, we'll see you on the next one.